Race, that's amazing, amazing. We just singing. I aim and squeeze this Windex. Put your index on the contract. If I drop a diss, boy, I don't see no comeback. I really like them toss that. I see your lifeline all flat. They talk hard, but I'm about.
As far as I'm concerned, music is music. I don't look at it as rock, R&B, all that kind of stuff. I just look at it as music, you know. But I feel sorry for anybody who only listens to one form of music.
Unsigned, you're listening to the Freeza Block Show. Local, milehigherunderground.com. Unsigned, local artists, unsigned artists. Music you may have never heard before. Music you'll want to hear again. All right here on the Freeza Block Show.
Welcome in. It is the Freeza Block Show, milehigherunderground.com. I'm hoping somebody can hear me out there. milehigherunderground.com. We're so excited. We're very happy to have world famous Johnsons in the studio. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay out there. Yes, indeed. I'm getting a little bit of a level. We're doing an auxiliary mic type of deal today, so that's all good, man. World famous Johnson's in the studio. It's Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane plus one, and the one is the drummer. And I'll tell you what, from what you guys have said, you guys have like rotating drummers, or what's the story on that?
We've had a couple
revolving door on the drummers.
And you know I guess it's all part of the gig, right? I mean, you know, you have drummers, you don't have drummers. I don't know, man. What kind of music it is world famous Johnson's for those folks that are just tuning in for the first time? I've never heard of world famous Johnson's, even though you are world famous.
We're more of a male review, all male review.
Yeah,
hip hop.
So
a lot of hip hop.
No, we're all original rock, hard rock, good rock.
Yep. All right,
with a groove. With a groove.
With the groove.
Groovy,
yes, indeed. And the name World Famous Johnson's really cool. It's you know, you guys have been around for a long time. So let's talk a little bit about that name, World Famous Johnson's, and a little bit about the evolution of World Famous Johnson's from when it started up way back in the day.
So I can tell this story.
Yeah, tell us.
So
go for it, bro.
There's a band, and I'm not going to say they are because they were signed, but they when I was writing for a music paper, I interviewed them back in the 90s, and the guitar player had told me that they were originally called the World Famous Johnsons, but the label made them change it because they didn't feel it was very marketable, and I just held on to that name, and I don't know.
And you're still trying to market it to this day.
Right? Yeah, it's a great name. And,
it is a great name. I mean, did it come from something that you, you know, a story, or just, you know, just out of the blue?
Yeah, Julian Anderson, who was in the band originally with me, he's passed away, but he wanted to call the band Throbbing Pink Jesus, and I didn't think that was very marketable. And we tried.
One more time. What was the name of that?
Throbbing Pink Jesus.
Yes,
indeed. We kept that name for a little bit, and cool. You know, bless Jules' heart, he loved it, but I think this is a little more marketable on a lunchbox.
No doubt about it, man.
Similar connotations.
About how long, you know, have you guys been around as a band and a, you know, group and stuff? You know, has it been longer than 5 years?
Well, 10 years? Yeah, actually.
We three go back like 20 years.
No, longer than 20.
Longer than that, really. But as far as us together as a Johnson, it's been like off and on for what, 5, 6, 7 years?
Yes,
7, 8 years.
I was in the band. We were a three-piece. It was me and Julian Anderson, and our drummer was Jimmy D. He was drummer number one. And I was playing bass and singing, but I wanted to reconnect with Scott. So I talked him into coming down and playing one song on the set down at the Lions Lair, right before Christmas.
Yep.
And he never left. So and then we brought Shane in.
No, I came in before Scott.
Yeah, that's right. You were.
Yeah, me and Lionel.
My memories are a little fuzzy.
Lionel was our second drummer.
Lionel was second. What about John Buskey? He never played with
No,
Johnson.
he didn't.
He was in Throbbing Pink Jesus.
He wasn't a John. No, he was never a Johnson. Sorry, John.
We have world famous Johnsons in the studio. Let's pump it up a little bit, man. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of, I'm a little bit under the weather. So, you know, hey. Again, we have world famous Johnsons. It's Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane. And Shane, let's start with you, man. Did you, you know, when you were a young kid, you know, were you really involved in music or anything like that, or did you kind of get into it a little bit older?
No, I was involved in music since I was like 12, 13 years old.
Was your family really, you know, into
Really
the music
musical?
scene?
Yeah. They're everything from Motown to Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels and in between, man. So I got a variety of music at a young age, you know, jazz, blues, all of it.
And what ended up, you know, I mean, all music, I guess you can't say. I was going to ask you what your favorite kind of music was, but you know, I was trying to make it difficult. So
honestly, you know, I don't really have a favorite type of music. You know, I play rock. It's got more energy than most music, but I play it all, from funk, blues, country, jazz, in between.
Shane's a metalhead
So
when you boil it down.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm looking for.
that's it right there.
Indeed. And Shane, you've been playing, like you said, a long time.
Yeah.
You know, with the deal. Do you right now? Do you play with different entities? You do a lot of solo stuff, or just like guest stuff, or
Yeah, I do a lot of guest stuff. I play with a cover band called Broken Promise, and I'll go. I do a lot of sit-in nights. You know, do like some jazz, blues, stuff like that.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
So it never gets old, right?
Oh,
you're always
no.
chasing it.
No, I can't go without it, man. I'll be playing until I die.
That's what I'm talking
They'll
about.
probably bury me with a guitar and a joint. So
Or you die if you don't play, man.
Hell yeah.
There you go, man. Indeed. And then next to you is Ace. Ace, tell us a little bit about your story, your backstory with, you know, tell other folks what you do with the Johnsons, and also, you know, a little bit of your backstory. You know what you
Sure.
got
Well,
into.
I'm the singer, and actually, I started. I don't know. We go back. Scott and Shane and I. We were in a band back late '80s, '90s together.
Yep.
Played in that band for I don't know, about 5 years, and then I was always a singer first, and you know, we wrote really well together, so we stayed. Broke up, and then I think we took 15 years off. 17 years off. So we
Tell us a little bit about that. Why you guys took such a long break, and you know,
Shane
there's a story
disappeared.
behind
yeah, I disappeared.
I think we have kind of a, you know, bands are like we're like dysfunctional families, but in the end of the day, we love each other pretty much. But yeah, we kind of run its course. We're in this band called Bone Circus. We broke up. Scott and Jeff hooked up and formed a band called Slug, which was punk metal.
Metal.
I love the names that you guys have. You know, the Throbbing Pink Jesus and Slug.
Yeah, we're not very.
Bone Circus.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of creative stuff, though. You know.
Yeah, you know, it's and then I just quit. I didn't do any music for I don't know, like 15 years. Didn't listen to anything. Didn't.
I tried to get him to come back, but he was like, no.
You know, Scott used to try and leave me messages, and I would never call you back. Pretty much.
So tell us a little bit about what made you come back, man. You know.
How did that work?
Well,
It was a Bengals reunion.
yeah, I
Bengals
kind of came into town from like Kansas, and I got a hold of Matt on Facebook. Me and Matt started talking. Scotty starts talking to Matt and saying, we ought to do a Bengals reunion. He goes, you know, if only where Shane was. And Matt goes, I've been talking to him on Facebook for the last 2 or 3 months. So Scotty said, we ought to do this. And so we got a hold of Damien, our old drummer.
He was out in Portland.
He was out in Portland.
We basically we got back together. We rehearsed in Scott's basement for, what was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Hadn't played together. You know, I hadn't sang anything in 15 years, and it just rolled back in. And then Damien flew in, and we were in the studio, and we wrote a song first practice, and played that at the reunion show. And then pretty much we've been mostly together since then. I took a break from the Johnsons for couple years. But
Our first show back was opening for Joey Shapiro's band XYZ
XYZ.
at Bangles, and it was we had a blast.
And for the young folks that are listening in and tuning in and are going Bangles, the band, Bangles used to be one of the hottest clubs here in town. And it used to always, back in the hair metal days, back in the, late 80s, early 90s, man, the place was just a zoo, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, as the course of time goes, things go with it as well. But, always good times, man. And you guys are not losing that step at all, man. We're going to go ahead and play a song from World Famous Johnson's off of their CD. Now, make sure to check them out on Facebook and on Reverb Nation and all that stuff. It's their album, Hitchhiking is Overrated. This song is called Ghost Radio, right here on MileHighUnderground.com. It is the World Famous Johnsons.
This night is over, I got nothing left to give. My head is screaming, I'm a mess. This bond between us is bound to come undone. Voices scream inside my head. Down this crooked road we roll. Shut on overtake the wheel. You say you know me, but your touch I don't recall. My name never left your lips. I say I need you, and I'm asking you to go. And I see freedom down the hill. Down this crooked road we roll. Start out, overtake the wheel. Heroes in this song. In my ghost radio. These color patterns black me out. The tools are changing and the song remains the same. The lights go down and then we'll shout. Down this crooked road we roll. Slide out, overtake the wheel. And the loves in this song. And I ghost radio. And my ghost radio. My ghost radio.
Well, Famous Johnson's in the studio. It is the Freeza Block Show. I'm trying to work with the alternate mic here, but again, I think we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're with Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane, and we were talking a little bit with Ace, and we didn't really kind of finish. We just kind of got into it a little bit.
We get sidetracked a lot.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Hey, by the way, folks, that bell is for a shot or a hit. It doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol or weed, but just a little something that
Pass the tea.
gets you through a little bit of something to
tea
get you
time.
through the interview and through life, and when we make a good point. Ace, we like a lot of bands right now, we were talking to Shane about his alternate stuff, different stuff that he does. You also are in a different band as well. So here's your chance to pop that a little bit.
Yeah, I have another band life. I cheat on this band. I got a band called Last Chance Texaco.
Everybody does, man. Everybody does.
That band I get to play guitar in. I don't sing at all in that band. So it's a good, totally different band. My wife Gail sings, and I just get to sit back and make noise, and it's really cool.
So you don't sing at all in that band, huh?
No, I don't even do background vocals. I just turn the guitar up really loud.
It's really loud.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about, man. And make sure to check them out, man. They got a couple shows coming up. It's World Famous Johnson's, April 6th at Herman's, the Best of the West. They're going to be there competing with a couple other bands. And also June 23rd with Firehouse, Damaged Social Fuse, and Johnny Got Rocks at the venue.
That's a sweet gig. But the Best of the West, I was like, I played in my other band. I didn't even realize it was a battle of bands. We just showed up and played. And I'm not much of a, I don't believe in music as a competition thing.
Right.
I really want to play Red Rocks. So we're going to bring our A game and get our fans out to that.
Come out for sure.
So don't make sure not to miss that one. That's April 6th. That's full week after April Fool's Day, pretty much. So make sure to come on out. It's going to be a great show, April 6th. There's really not too many bands on that bill that week.
No, and we'll have the full band out for that one, won't we?
Yeah, we'll have a drummer.
We actually have.
We'll have a drummer.
We have a drummer. We'll have 2 bass players at that show and probably 3 guitar players. It's
3-4 guitar players.
We're like.
You're going to really bring it.
We're like the hard rock version of Earth, Wind, and Fire without the horns, basically.
Well, there's nothing wrong with
Or
that.
like a
man.
Parliament Funkadelic show, you never know who's going to be on stage.
Right. You've never worn a diaper on stage.
No, never, man. Never.
Let's talk a little bit about that place, the venue. It's a brand new place, and I know that Scott, you got a lot of influence in that. And let's just take a couple seconds and talk real quick about it. Tell the folks where it is.
The venue's the old Brewskis, and it was Hiccups for a while, and it's off of Pecos and Boulder Turnpike, basically right in that area.
Good stuff, man. It's a brand new venue, and you guys got the buffers out, so the floors are nice and slick, and the stage is really kick-ass too, from what I hear.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nice place.
Excuse me, guys, man. I'm coming off the deal. But it's a world famous Johnson's in the studio. Make sure to check them out on Facebook, Reverb Nation. Give them some love. They do have a CD out there, but that thing is how old is that? Is that
2012?
So yeah, it's been a while,
6
man.
years.
So it's definitely time. You guys have been working on some new stuff and really getting things freshened up for, I guess, version 2.
And we actually, I think we have
extended version of world famous Johnson's.
We have enough material for like another 3. I think we write a lot.
We just haven't had a steady lineup enough to go in and record it. So now we're just like, we're going to record it regardless. If we have to use a couple of sit-in players, we're going to do that, but we'll get it done.
Yeah. When can the folks look forward to pretty much a close, not a hard date, but a soft, date?
We'll probably release a couple singles as soon as they're, ready to go, and then maybe an EP, and then
there you go. There's your face. We got to get your face in.
Nobody wants to see my face.
I want to see your face, man. You got a beautiful face.
It is a world famous Johnson's, man. We're very happy to have you guys in. Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane. And Ace, did you want to tell us anything else about your other band, Last Chance Texaco? I really like the name, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're actually, that band's in the studio, and we just we're recording with Jim Strickler. We got about 13 songs recorded, and should be finishing that up around June. And it's a little different than the Johnsons. It's more
It's a lot different than the
It's a lot. Actually, it's a lot different. It's more alt rock, and my guitar style is not very it's not very metally. I like to do other things. So it's part punk, part just atmospheric type stuff, right?
Well, you
It's
know,
tasty.
there's nothing wrong with that, man. You know, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it moving, and you know, you know, if you don't do something, or you know, it just gets stale and it just goes away.
Yeah,
So,
by nature, I have to just write. That's just if you know, if I'm not in a band or if I'm doing, you know, I just have to get it out, or I go pretty crazy. So.
did you grow up in you know, musical family much like Shane there, or did you kind of just
No. My dad was an attorney. Brother went to accounting school, so no, I just something I picked up. It always made a connection with me.
what was it? I mean, when you were like in junior high, did you really just get into
yeah.
music and stuff?
Actually, it was Elvis and Tom Jones. That's,
Okay.
And then I, moved on. My first metal concert was Judas Priest, which is killing, right?
Sure, yeah.
Which one was it?
Screaming for Vengeance.
I was just gonna say,
Long
that's
Beach
pretty-
Arena. But Shane and I was into Earth, Wind and Fire. I was into Parliament Funkadelic. I just
Hop on stuff. Dean Martin, you name it, man. Just
Yeah.
music in general.
Nice.
But it's just a creative, and I think that's why we're still together, is we all feel the same way about music, and that's why. And Jeff doesn't say much, but it's a really
You
good
will,
connection
man.
we have.
Well, then we'll go right on and talk to Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff, tell the folks
Jeff's
a little
the
bit.
dark member of the band.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah. He plays all the dark music.
He's
Jeff,
the proggy rocker.
Jeff, tell us a little bit about what you do with this band and how you guys got hooked in with the crew here.
Just a little guitar, I guess. Scott came to us. I was in another band at the time, and he actually needed some more family to pull off a show. So we opened up for the Quiet Riot at the Buffalo Rose, which turned out really cool. Had a great time, and the other boys didn't want to stick it out, but I enjoy playing the rock and roll with these guys. It's definitely a lot different from some of my other music and what I do. So I enjoy it. So.
Well, Jeff, tell us a little bit about some of the other stuff you do besides what you do here with the world famous Johnson.
Yeah, well, just got to have another band. October episode, we reunited and got back together and started doing some shows, and it was turning out pretty good actually. And you were actually at one of the shows, gave me a card.
I remember that. Yeah,
it's like we were going to do some stuff, and then lead singer had some complications and passed away. And
oh wow.
And the guys took it kind of hard there, so we're kind of a little bit of a hiatus on that band, but we still plan on bringing some music to you, which is.
Let's give a real quick moment of silence for your singer there,
Garth Edwinson.
All right, well, man, that's really too bad, man. But you guys, since the October episode and stuff, you're starting to pick up some new deals here, or you guys just sticking right with this world famous Johnson's gig for the time being?
Well, I like to stay busy, and I like to play the different styles. So, I mean, October episode's a little theatrical. We paint up, dress up, kind of heavy, a different style of music. And then I have the heavy band, which is called Thicker Skin. Okay. And we're getting ready to do some recording and get in the set and keep bothering Scott and these venues we need an opening slot so we can start bringing some heavy stuff to you guys.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Good stuff. It is world famous Johnson's in the studio. And make sure to check them out April 6th at Herman's, Best of the West, June 23rd, opening for Firehouse, Damaged, Social Fuse, Johnny Got Rocks at the venue, man. It's going to be really, really good show, man. Tell us a little bit about, you guys definitely open up for assigned acts, acts that, a lot of folks can recognize and remember. Tell us a little bit about how you score some of those and how important it is to be relevant and opening for bands like that.
Well, let's do it, Mr. Scott over there.
I'll ask, I'm looking right at Scott when I'm asking that.
Well, a lot of it's
He is social media.
being a team player. When you're getting on shows, you want to help promote the show so that the show does well for the venue and the promoter. And, it's a lot about just being a team player with the other bands, with the venue, with the promoter. And you earn a reputation of doing good things, bringing people out to the shows, that sort of thing.
I'm kind of surprised because a lot of times, you hear a lot about bands, they want to be opening for, larger acts, signed bands, whatever. And a lot of times the promoters or whoever puts these things on say, we really don't need or want a local band opening up for us. We're just not interested in that. We don't think we need it. How do you go about convincing some of these promoters to go ahead and, open up for these guys?
Persistence is a lot of it. Stand after till they get sick of hearing from you, and then they're finally, okay, we'll put you on a show. Get you to shut up. And just building a reputation of being easy to work with, and being fun to work with, and supporting the show.
And they know that we're going to bring the show and be good enough to be able to play those shows.
That's all a part of that reputation. That's what we're
We
talking
also
about.
support other bands too. It doesn't make a difference whether they're, equal, better or not. It's all music, man. And if everybody was to support each other, man, the scene would come together a whole lot better, man. Right. So, you may not like what somebody does, but it doesn't mean because you don't like it, it's not happening for somebody else.
Right. Tell us a little bit what anybody could take this one. What do you guys think about the local music scene, how it's blowing up here in Colorado, especially the Mile High? There's different genres, but man, it's blowing up.
I think it's the best it's ever been. We've always had, Denver's kind of been, its own thing. We've always had really good bands, but now we just have some really phenomenal, talented people playing out there. In all genres, you've got Ryan Chris and the Rough Cuts. You've got
shouts out.
Shouts out.
You got Johnny Got Rocks. They're probably one of the most different original bands going.
Rubber Planet, they're still playing out there. You got
Grind. There's a lot of killer bands out there, man.
Every genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and it's really cool. I mean, I guess I'm trying to get to the point like. How certain scenes blow up, and then you get a lot of signed acts or whatever out of it, and it starts becoming like people from Kansas and Illinois and Florida and stuff are starting to follow the music here. How long do you think before you guys really start here in Colorado making a nationwide impact?
We definitely have the talent here to do that.
Yeah, who knows? Denver's always been a diamond in the rough when it comes to music and bands, man. It's just that, I don't know what it is. It's like promoters seem to just pass us by. But I think if somebody was ever to come to town and take a serious look at the talent here, man, they'd realize that there's a lot going on.
There certainly is, man. No doubt about it. We have world famous Johnsons in the studio. Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane. They brought their instruments on in. I'll give you guys a second or two to go ahead and get those ready. And we're going to go ahead and play a live song for us. You guys said that you would. You promised. Good guys. Tell us a little bit about the song you guys are going to play and a little bit about what it means to maybe whoever. As we know,
this is. Let's see. I rejoined the band back in. Was it June? I think it was June. But this is the first song we wrote when we got back together as a full band, and it just clicked. It's we tend to focus on darker subjects.
I think so. Lyrically darker subjects, music wise.
The hooks are happy, but I just
it's confusing, really.
But I really connected with the bass line Scott brought in, and it just came together. It's like usually that's how it works with us. We rewrite in a room together, and it just you catch a mood. And
I'll bring a riff, and Scott will add to it, or vice versa. Then Jeff will add something. Tried a couple of times, man, until we get it all coming together, man. It's not really one person actually writing a complete song. We all put a little bit of effort to it, no matter what the song is.
This is the only band I've been in that I've been able to, you just go in a room and there's just noise going on, and then you click on a riff and you have a song when you walk out. And we've been pretty consistent writing like that. So.
That's what makes the dynamic of the world famous Johnsons so good. It's world famous Johnsons playing a what song?
It's called Black House.
All right.
So baby, this is life. Know it beat you down. Sometimes we get it right. Right before we drown. Yeah, before we drown. Easy come, easy go. This is the way we end, I know. Living in this black house. Yeah, hear me calling. Calling. Baby, let's burn it down. Gonna burn it down. We're gonna burn it down. Yeah, right now. You know, I know you try. Yeah, you know I'm down and out. Sometimes we see the light. Even when we shout. When we shout. Easy come and easy go. This is the way we end, I know. Living in this black house. Yeah, hear me calling. Calling. Baby, let's bring it down. Gonna burn it down. Gonna burn it down. Yeah, right now. So baby, here we are. Yeah, we've had it all. Sometimes we feel alright. Right before we fall. Yeah, before we fall. Easy come and easy go. This is is the way we end. I know, living in this black house. Yeah, I hear you calling, yeah, baby, let's burn it down. We're gonna burn it down. Gonna burn it down. Baby, let's go right now.
House. That is world famous Johnson's live here, right here in the Freeza Block studio. Make sure to check them out, man, on the Facebook page. Give them some love, and make sure to go to the show at Herman's April 6th for the Best of the West, and also June 23rd. They're going to be opening up for Firehouse and Damaged. Social Fuse, Johnny God Rocks will also be there at the venue, man. It's going to be a great show. So everybody, come on out and check it out, man. Indeed. And Scotty, let's talk to you a little bit about your upbringing, why you enjoy music, how you got into it, and we could definitely talk about your promotion deals too, man. You are definitely a hard worker when it comes to your promotion.
Well, I just have always been, drawn toward music. My mom played the radio a lot when I was younger, and so I had that, and then. My parents didn't want me to play football, which I really wanted to play football, but I'm glad I didn't now with all the concussion stuff going on. I'm damaged enough already without that. But
concussed yourself.
But they got me a violin, and it sounded terrible when I would play it. So you had to really play it right to make it sound anywhere halfway decent. And so I did that for a few years, and then I discovered the guitar. And then there was no going back to violin. And then
did they have to sell it, or can you, like, if the fellows here forced you, you got that fiddle? Yeah. Do you think you could still play something there? Or?
Barely.
Just curious, man. Just curious. So, but and since then you were just rocking out ever since. Did you start with guitar, or did you just decide bass and that's it?
My dad brought a guitar home, and I'd fiddle around with that, but I always played it like a bass. I never did a lot of chords, and just always would pick out songs on the radio, note by note. And then when I got into high school, I was playing guitar in the jazz band, but the guy that was playing bass wanted to play guitar, and he said, "Will you play bass?" And I was like, "Sure, I've never played bass. I'll try to play bass." And then been playing bass ever since.
You just loving it, huh? Ever since, man. And then you started putting. Did you put your? This wasn't your first band, or I'm sure that growing up you had maybe several different bands. And if you did, I want to hear the names.
I played in some church bands, and then when I moved to Colorado, I was jamming with Brian Nevin and Rob Squires from Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
All right, big shouts out to those guys.
And we had a band called Intruder.
Okay.
And I can't say what we were. We did a lot of Tom Petty covers and Rolling Stones and stuff like that. But we were not original band. We were mostly just cover band. And then I like to say Todd replaced me, but that's not really the way it happened. Oh, cute girls are showing up. All right.
Anytime, it happens all the time right here at the Freeza Block Show. Cute girls, anytime, all the time. Anyways, what we were talking about.
Sidetrack.
I'm completely sidetracked now.
Easy to do.
Actually, I wanted to get into a little bit of what you do on the side. You're not just a musician; you are a promoter. You have Event Star Productions. Tell us a little bit about some of the side projects you got going on, because you are definitely a mover and a shaker, brother.
Well, the Johnsons have never played that much. Typically we'll play like once a month or once every other month. And there was a lot of bands wanting to play with us. And so I started helping them get shows at different places, and that kind of evolved. And now I'm booking music at Cheers Pub up in North Glen off 120th and
Washington.
I-25 Washington area.
Right.
Up there. And we have a lot of good music at Cheers.
Let's give a shouts out to Cheers, the folks that run the place up there. And every single weekend there is an amazing show, and usually your name is behind it in some way or another. You seem to be able to wrangle a lot of these bands together and put together some good shows, man. And I tell you what, every week it's tough for me not to go up there. I'm telling you what.
And I harass you if you don't.
You certainly do. But, it is 120th in Washington. Just saying.
It's right off the highway, Steve.
It is. It is. And you know what I love about that is they've got this really kick-ass stage, riser, drum riser, the whole thing up there. I'm sure when you guys play up there, you feel like major league rock stars, man. You know,
Good
right?
lights and a good sound guy.
Yeah, Rob.
And you know
Rob
what? The
Kirk,
girls are really nice up there.
they're nice.
I'm
They're
serious.
very nice.
I've never met I've never been to a place where, the girls are just nice. You know what I'm saying? Like friendly.
Yep.
And I'm like, I've gone to a few places and they're just like kind of standoffish, almost like teenage girls, and go, ew. not the girls up there in North Glen.
Yeah.
So, thank goodness, man. Shouts out to Cheers. And who runs that show up there, man?
Rob Kirk. He's put that place together. He's had it just celebrated his 7th anniversary with Cheers, and great staff, great crew. We got a great sound man up there. His name's Jeff Johnson. He used to be the world famous Johnson sound man.
You know what? No doubt about it. Let's give that guy shouts out, because every time I go up to Cheers and there's a good, a show, that guy is just absolutely kicking ass behind it. And he makes you guys sound, he makes everybody sound fantastic. So let's give big shouts out to
That's
him
what sound man's
one more
supposed to do,
time.
so he definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah, one of the best.
Well, yeah, you won't see
absolutely.
him like flipping through his iPhone, during the show.
That happens.
I've seen that so much, in a lot of other venues. I'm like, but you really don't care, do you?
And whether you're just sitting back looking up at the band.
No, they're
it's
right.
You're really part of the band if you're the sound man.
Yeah.
You're engaged again.
A lot of the newer sound men don't realize how much
They're
the
like the
sound
fifth
man
Beatle if they're
impacts the show. But Jeff does. Jeff's old
Right.
school.
Jeff had us thumping so loud the other night, I think the ceiling was shaking up there at Cheers last week.
We had our 2 bass players, so it was killing.
Yeah, we did. We do have another bass player, Danny Harrison.
Yeah.
Well, let's give him some shouts out.
Shout out.
It's the loudest and sexiest of the instruments.
See, me and Jeff have to keep up with the 2 bass players. So we have to use multiple amplifications.
It sonically destroy us on stage.
How many, how many members, I guess, is, because it sounds to me like it's almost like a collective, world famous
Well,
Johnsons.
we have a
You guys
saying
are like
with
the
Scott
core.
Ford.
But there's more, right?
Oh yeah.
What's our saying or our motto is?
We say once a Johnson, always a Johnson. So if you do a show with us, you're forever on.
You never
Yes.
know, he might call you out of retirement.
You're forever in the
You're like Al Pacino in The Godfather.
Yeah,
it's like a
just
cult.
pull you back in.
It's pretty kick ass because you might catch when you catch these guys, you might it might be 4, it might be 6, it might be 8, right?
Yeah, it might
Sure.
be. That could even be sometimes, 3.
But I tell you, when everybody's there, it's very powerful and it's energetic, and there's really nothing like it, man. Especially to sing behind in front of that's crazy.
Awesome, man.
How crazy it is.
Well, let's jump into a little more music here. Off the Hitchhiking is Overrated CD from 2012, and again, you guys, you say it's dated, but this is a little bit more closer to what folks might be in store for when they go to see you guys at the show, because you guys are just kind of playing a little broken down acoustic set here. And if you hear that song live, it's not going to sound anything like what you guys just heard. So
Good stuff.
It's a little louder.
this song is called Dig You Up. It's world famous Johnsons in the studio. We got Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane. And indeed, this song again.
Outside your window, decent hard on this crazy night. Your head, your pillow, wide awake your mind, yeah. getting right. You're a bit of a hypocrite. You laugh, I try. Come together with it. Yeah. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. I'm a bit dick. You're a bit of a porno star. This touch electric. Yeah, together. Yeah. Yeah. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. I'll take you up. Baby, I'll take you up. I'll take you up. I'll take you up.
Great stuff, man. Scotty, you had a little something to say about that song. Go ahead and tell us about the hits that you guys had on there and why, all that.
Oh, long story short, the Johnsons had not released Dig You Up on the first demo, and I discovered it in the studio at Strickler's studio. And
what do you mean discovered it? Like it was just laying around?
Well, we recorded it and didn't.
The Johnsons had recorded a couple songs.
We weren't going to use it,
and they didn't put it on the CD, and Jimmy was playing it for me. I was like, that's a killer song. And so he sent me the track to listen to, and I thought it was good enough to put up on Reverb Nation. So I threw it up on Reverb Nation. I shared it on Facebook, and this thing started getting hit after hit after hit. In like 3 days, it had like 500 listens to it. And so I told these guys about it, and Julian was pissed off because it was just a scratch solo.
Yeah, and it was solo. It wasn't mixed. It wasn't.
It wasn't a solo I was going to keep, and he wasn't happy with it. But it was still getting hits. It was still getting plays. Like people kept calling back to it, and I was like, let's just leave it up there. And Julian was like, someday you're going to record a bass line you're not happy with, and I'm going to release that, and we'll see how you feel.
And we're going to play that right now. No, I don't have any of those.
Should have brought one, man.
Shane just pulled out a song that has been around that we wrote ages ago that hasn't been played in 30 years.
Sure,
yeah.
30 years. I don't know if we should do it.
Please try it.
It's world famous Johnsons in the studio. Scott, Jeff,
I don't even know if I
Ace, and
remember
Shane.
this song.
Make sure to check them out on Facebook. World famous Johnsons. Give them some love on the Reverb Nation, and keep an eye out for all the new stuff that's going to be coming out here towards, I guess, the middle of the year here in the summer. Make sure again, April 6th, they're going to be at Herman's at the Best of the West, and June 23rd with Firehouse. Damaged, Social Fuse, Johnny Gut Rocks, all.
To add to that, man, Scott, I just want to say, get out and I don't care who you go see, man. Just get out and keep the scene alive and support people who are playing music. Because, we're doing it. Every musician, I don't care what they play, they're doing it because they love to play. And they love to share that energy with people. And that's how you keep the scene alive, man. And it's better than sitting at home. It's better than being stuck into your smartphone. And it's
That's
just
right.
it's communal, man.
What
That's how
else are
we
you
used
going to be
do it.
doing? Watching TV, watching The Voice on TV. You know, I mean, really,
Nah,
come on
man,
out. Come on out to the show.
We have a lot of fun.
Spend a couple bucks. And believe it or not, folks, if you go out to the shows, you'll be surprised at the age dynamic and the you know, the folks that are actually out there. It's not a bunch of teenage kids out there. It's not a bunch of 20-somethings. It's from 20 to 70.
Yeah, we got some great places and people
Yeah,
out there.
you can feel safe when you come out.
That's right, man. It's always a good time. It's world famous Johnson's in the studio. Again, make sure to check them out on Facebook and Reverb Nation and all that good stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Are you guys going to play in there?
Yeah, we might try and I
Yeah,
might have to make some
we'll
stuff
try
up.
to
Man, we
What
appreciate
song?
it.
Yeah, prayer.
Oh,
World famous Johnson
1989, this song was written.
in the freezer.
Wait. Look around. Something like that. Can't you see what's going on? Take your vow. Yeah, baby, it won't be long. Say a prayer for me, my dear. Say a prayer for days gone by. Say a prayer, yeah, for those who care. Yeah, say a prayer for when I die. Yeah, look around. Yeah, you drink from my cup. Yeah, yeah. Hear the sound. Yeah, it'll never, never stop. Yeah, you never get enough. Yeah. Yeah, say a prayer for me, my dear. Yeah. Say a prayer for days gone by. Yeah, say a prayer for those who care. Yes, say a prayer when I die. Days gone by. Yeah, yeah.
it's really kick ass, man. And you know, like I said, you guys didn't have to play those extra songs, but you did, and that's a mark of a great band and true musicians, man. I really appreciate you guys coming on in. It is world famous Johnsons. Scott, Jeff, Ace, and Shane. Make sure to check them out. April 6th at Herman's Hideaway at the Best of the West. June 23rd with Firehouse, Damaged, Social Fuse, Johnny Got Rocks at the venue. Give you a chance to check out the venue. A brand new place. Really kick-ass stuff, man. And, of course, like I said, man, give them some love on the Reverb Nation, a liking and thumbing on the Facebook, and all that good stuff, man. That's right. Thumbs and likes for everyone. Indeed, man. Thank you guys so much for coming on in, man.
Hey, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
I mean, you know, you guys have been around for quite a long time, and you know, definitely, you know, stalwarts in the rock scene here in Colorado, man. We really do appreciate it, man. You guys, again, man, good stuff. I'm gonna play us out with one last song, which
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
One more thing. I
Yeah,
got
go
another
ahead.
band too.
Oh, well, let's go ahead and promote that. Let's go ahead and promote that band, bro.
Shane's got Broken Promise, right?
Yeah.
Last Chance Texaco, Thicker Skin. And I got a reunion going on with Jimmy Chapman, Brian Jones, John Fulmer, and Mike Taft in a band called Roar we had back in the 80s.
Roar.
Denver's biggest
Say it right,
heavy
man.
metal.
Roar.
Heavy metal party band. And we got some shows coming up. Check out the Wolfpack Productions page for Roar. And I think our first show is with Rough Cut at Herman's
Nice.
coming up.
Yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
stuff, man. Indeed. Like I said, these guys are just not one-trick ponies, man. They are definitely all over. They've got all kinds of different bands. Make sure to check them out. Keep supporting the scene. Keep it alive because, hey, what the hell else are you doing, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on out,
There you go.
man. It's
Get
always
off the couch.
It really is a good time, folks. I mean it, and you know that's just how it is, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's world famous Johnson, Scott, Jeff, Ace, Shane, and all the numerous bands that they're in. Make sure to check them out, and of course, make sure to go to Herman's on April 6th and give them. That's going to be one of the funner shows that you'll see. World famous Johnson's doing. All right, man. So, do you even care about what song we play on our way out?
I like hitchhiking.
Title track.
All
That's
right,
my
let's
favorite.
do that,
I like
man. I
Road
believe
Runners,
this is it. Again, thank you guys so much for coming in, man. And again, check them out. April 6th, Herman's Best of the West.
We got some
And-
cough medicine for you too.
I know. What, man? Oh man, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna
that
do?
keeps
huh?
things happy.
No doubt about it. This one is called "Hitchhiking is Overrated." I'm pretty sure. Right here, milehighunderground.com. So we'll check you out next week. Make sure you stay with us next week. We have the symbols next week. man.
Oh,
Thank you
symbols.
guys so much.
Long hair blowing madly all this way. Moving freely to the music in my head. Talk loud with the dawn in the moonlight. It's right at night, the night she died. It's alive. It's a blow. It's alive. It's a blow. She's still in my dreams of my life. So eyes as I was driving by. I'll take you anywhere that you need. If you really, really